Right, so everyone, thanks for joining again for the Works with Nx webinar between Optix and Navicops, our GIS map solution partner. My name is Jason Lee, the APAC platform manager. I'm based in Taipei, Taiwan, right? So just real quick to give you a brief information about Nx. So our company was founded in 2010 with headquarters in California, USA. Outside of that, in our global teams, we have colleagues from South America, Europe, Asia, and Oceania. Our company, Optix, has been listed on the Inc. 5000 magazine as the fastest growing software company for 8 years running. So in the past 3 years, our compound annual growth rate is more than 170%, right? So we've been nominated by one of a pretty famous IP authority in the North American market as the #1 VMS in this product category, right? So far, as of today, there has been more than 4 million plus licenses being activated and sold, right? And it's increasing really fast. Just to give you an idea, so I want to draw your attention to the upper left, right? You see in our history, it's about 13 years company history. There are about 4.1 million licenses being activated and sold, and actually more than 1 million are being sold and activated in the past 12 months. So we see a really sharp increase on our license activations across different vertical markets. So what exactly do we offer, right? So we offer a full stack market-ready video management software, which we think can solve 95% of the use cases out of box. Right, so what are the software stack we offer? The first one is Nx Cloud, which we hosted on Amazon AWS. And we also have a server application that can run on basically all kinds of hardware, x86, or different type of operating system. We also have a pretty nice desktop client. It's a C client to work with different kind of media, data, audios, or metadata, right? There are also a mobile app for iOS and Android platform. Other than that, the most important things about today is we have a pretty comprehensive and open source developer tools, right? They are APIs, they are SDKs, and we have a pretty large and ever-growing Works with Nx integration marketplace, right? So that's what we offer to the markets. Some quick facts about the software, right? I think numbers always tell a good and clear ideas about things, right? So first of all, we have a server application, we have a desktop client application. When the two combined, the installation package is just around 200 megabytes. It's really small, right? It's a very small applications that can run. And to run our software, you don't need any prerequisite software. You just download 4 or 5 clicks and you have the whole software installed and start running. It's very easy. Like I said, we support x86 or ARM computers like Intel, AMD, NVIDIA, Raspberry Pi, Qualcomm, NXP, almost any kind of computing nodes. We can run our software on it, right? And we also support Windows, Linux, embedded Linux, and different flavors of Linux operating systems. Our software also works really efficiently. If you are taking care of 128 full HD video, we only need a single core of i3 CPU, right? And as of today, this month, we have supported more than 965 camera manufacturers. That's a lot, right? And we have worked with more than 18,000 different IP video devices. It could be an IP camera, IP speaker, video encoder, DVR, or NVR. We have a list. It's growing really fast. So far, 18,000 devices supported, right? So in general, if you are doing a project, we think less than 10,000 camera, you don't actually need our engineering support. We have a pretty simple and robust architecture to make it work. Okay, so if you are a developer or if you are from the IT or information or AI team of end users, I really recommend you to scan the QR code and take a look at our GitHub page, right? We have a lot of open source developer tools on our GitHub page. We also put together several simple codes to help developers to use our developer tools easily, right? So there are REST API, server API that is interacting with our server. There is a JavaScript client API that is using your web application to control our desktop client. Actually, Navicops team are using these two. So later on, what you hear from their webinar, from the live demo, they actually achieved the integration with these two, the server API and the JavaScript API, right? And other than that, we also have SDK tools like based on C++ to interact with video analytics or different type of metadata, the metadata SDK. We have C++ SDK to work with different kind of proprietary video capture devices or different kind of proprietary storage devices, right? And just last year, I believe it was Q3, the feed client we offer, we actually also open sourced our feed client. So we can say with our developer tool, with our open source feed client, a developer, no matter for a GIS mapping, for an AI developer, or for any kind of process management software, or from the information IT team of the end user, you can basically develop anything you want with our software tools, right? So just a very quick example on how people are using our software, right? That's my last slide, right? Then I'll give the stage to Jordan for their parts, right? So in general, our software has been installed in a lot of different fixed deployments, smart city, factories, warehouse, retail, hotels, bank, school, university, a lot of them. And we see a big growing trends on the deployments for, we call it mobile deployments, the truck fleet, the bus fleet, taxi fleet, or the security guard wearing body-worn cameras, right? Many end users, they are actually having the facilities as a, premises, right? Buildings, warehouses. At the same time, they have their own fleets, right? Or they're using a third party to monitor, manage their properties, right? So these mobile deployments, most of the time are using radio, 4G, 5G to stream the data. The fixed deployments, which is easier, ADSL fiber, right? So with Nx embedded, we can easily merge all this metadata, these fixed or mobile deployments into one umbrella, right? So we can use our Nx Cloud to provide a secure peer-to-peer connections. Once we have the system connected, of course, we can use the Nx clients, no matter it's a web client, desktop client, mobile client, to see the video, right? You can see live video, archive video, event videos. We also provide APIs for third party like this one from the United States. They develop a fleet management software using our API to come up with their own client. And of course, Navicops, they have a fantastic GIS map solution using our APIs to interact with the live, archive video, or even snapshots, right? So for fixed deployments, API communication is simple. There's IP addresses for you to do that. When we are using cellular as a backhaul, that becomes challenging, right? Physical IP address is hard to obtain in many countries when you are using cellular as the backhaul. So with Nx Cloud, we can actually route these API codes via our cloud services. That make the endpoints much easier, reachable in a secure manner, right? So we can very easily get the string snapshots or exchange data via edge devices that is connected to your centralized systems via cellular networks, right? Of course, like Nx user, you know that we have a pretty nice building health monitoring systems. If you install the Nx on the computer, we know the CPU, we know the RAMs, we know the network, we know how the disks are running, right? And we can also do license management. And in our roadmap, we're also planning on remote application deployment via Nx Cloud, right? At last, one big thing this year, we're also working on cloud recording, right? So we have, no matter it's a fixed deployment, mobile deployment, we have recording on site. But when there's an event, no matter it's a scheduled event, a manual trigger event, an automated event by video analytics, right? We can automatically back up the recording to any kind of a S3 object storage to back up the event in the remote locations, right? So that's what I want to share with you today. Just real quick, a briefing about our company, what our software is capable of, mostly highlighted about our developer tool. But our main topic today is about a GIS map from the Navicops teams, right? So I will give the stage to Jordan, and Jordan will share with us about their development with Nx. Okay, thank you. Excuse me. Okay. All right, Jordan, you should be able to share your screen.
Perfect.
That's great. I can see it. Fantastic.
Okay, so hi everyone. Today I'm pleased to present Navicops. So as Jason said, it's a solution for mapping inside the network optics. Let's talk a little about us. We are a French company founded in 2022 that specializes in mapping. We develop our own product for network optics. We have designed this product to meet every possible and unimaginable use case, so it will fit perfectly with hotel chains, cities, shopping, and so on, shopping malls, and so on. Here are the features available in Navicops, actually. It's not all the features because there is too many. We are constantly evolving as we try to meet everyone's need and we listen to our customers. If there is something missing, it's already on the roadmap, or just ask us and we will make it available for you. Among the most important features, there is a clustering system on the map, so you can have more than 5,000 cameras on a single map without slowing down or anything. We have a real-time camera previews, a really good integration directly into Nx thanks to the REST API and the JavaScript API too, and an API that allow you to managing the triggers and sensor on the map. And there is also the multi-level mapping that allow you to navigate inside the buildings, for example, or if you want to be you have a first map outside and you want to enter in a building, it's perfect. It's available on Linux and Windows platform, and it's on-premise product like Nx, because we want to fit perfectly into the Nx ecosystem. I think we are going to give you a hands-on demo of Navicops and what it can do to make your Nx experience even better. So Jordan, let's share Navicops. Okay. So the main feature of Navicops is the ability to create maps and use them directly within Nx. But initially thought of it as a tool for managing your business or city more intelligently. That's why we have developed a fully customizable dashboard with widgets. You can add cameras to get a preview that updates every 10 seconds or so. And you can also monitor the status of your system and the various sensors you have added. You can also display a web page, for example, which could be a control panel or a visual feedback from a sensor. And we have other functionalities under development, such as the ability to display a sensor value retrieved directly from the sensor's API return, for example. And we are also open to any ideas that might help you or your customers to have a better experience. All widgets can be resized and organized in a grid, and each user has their own dashboard. I think that's it for the dashboard system. Let's move on to the Navicops main feature, the mapping system. So you can create a map from a PDF, an image, or simply a standard world map. For your information too, we are working on integrating AutoCAD, DWG, and DXF files directly to the map. You can display a KMZ file on your map. You can, of course, too, add your own camera, sensor, triggers, and markers to open another map. for simple multi-leveling mapping. For example, as I said previously, if you have both indoor and outdoor cameras, it might be useful to create a standard map with your outdoor cameras and an image map with a floor plan of your building and your indoor cameras. And also, it's working too for multi-story buildings. For cameras, you can set the camera's field of view, orientation, viewing distance, and a color to make it easier to find your way around. You can choose between 3D, 2D view and the satellite view of the map. It will be saved, so when you open it inside Nx, for example, you will get the same view with the same position, the same zoom level and pitch. And I think that's it for the map creation part. We can now open a map inside Nx because I think it's the most important to see how well it integrates inside Nx. Okay, so here is the map inside Nx. One of the very practical features of integrating the map directly into Nx is the ability to open a live camera directly from the map. If you have it in your browser, it opens just a thumbnail preview that will refresh every 10 seconds. But when you are inside Nx, you double click on the thumbnail and it will open directly the camera inside Nx and you can do whatever you want on the camera. You have two web page triggers that allow you to open a control panel inside the layout of NX2. So it can be useful to open a control panel to have access to another system, or maybe if you need to see some data from a sensor too, it will working too. Otherwise, by activating a trigger on the board, you can easily interact with mode system. So on the map, as you can see, there is a trigger. You click on it, and for the demo here, it's triggering a fire alert, but it can be something else, like opening a gate or something like that. If you have a lot of cameras, it's easy to search for a camera using the search bar, but you can also type hashtag and the logical ID of a camera that allow you to go directly to a camera. We don't know that is on the other side of the world. If you just know the logical ID, it can be simpler for operator. You can also navigate between several cameras thanks to the arrow system. When you open one, it will go to the nearest camera automatically. You can also change the map type to standard, satellite, or 3D. So it will change the view of the map. And it will not be saved. It's only for when you are watching the map. If you close Nx and open Nx again, you will see the map as you saved it inside Nx, inside Navicops, sorry. And you can also hide the KMZ file if you need to see something more precisely. And when you are in 3D mode, as you can see, there is a night and day mode. It can be useful for operator if they are working the night. They don't want a bright screen all the night, so quite great, I think. You can also show the live road traffic that is refreshed every 8 minutes. And you can geolocate yourself if, for example, you are using Navicops on your mobile phone and you are in a specific location. You need to see the camera around you. You can do it. It's working. Also, on clicking on a map marker, you can open a new map. For example, when you are going inside a building, or if you maybe need a more detailed view of the area. We can think maybe in a restricted size area, you have multiple cameras, you want to open a more zoomed in map, you can do it. And also it's working for multi-level mapping too. And I think that's it for the mapping part. I think we can take a look at some Navicops configuration page for other features. So let's get back to Navicops.
John, it's Jason. Yeah, before we jump to the next session, I want to echo some of the use cases we ourselves has been experiencing during the demo, right? So when we, like as Sean demoed, we put the Navicops web applications into the Nx desktop clients, right? So that we can run the two applications simultaneously. So there are situations where the operators, they are looking for the data, the information from the map view, right? I want to find a camera from this specific location because of some of the events happen at the locations. However, the camera, maybe it's for example, it could be a Hanwha AI camera that are actually giving a lot of metadata about the events on the things, right? But on the map, we cannot see those metadata, but it provides us a geolocations about where is the camera. So we double click on the camera channel in the map, then it will use our JavaScript API to pop up the video channel in the Nx desktop client. And then at the right-hand side, if we go to the object tab, we can start to use our object search or advanced object search to start interact with the metadata. So that made the overall use cases really fluent, right? We have a map application inside the client, identify the event, pop up the camera I'm looking for, start using the VMS function to look for the metadata. We don't really necessarily ask Navicops team to integrate with the AI, the metadata, right? What we did is just to use the JavaScript API to combine the two solutions together and make good use of the advantage of the both software to come up with a seamless use cases like that. So that's how we use the software. So I just want to share during these sessions.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to use Navicops, and that was the goal, to make Navicops integrate seamlessly with Nx and to be like another feature inside Nx.
And
so,
Sean, I think there are some questions that are related to the map view. Like there's a partner asking if there's a PTZ cameras, right? And we point the camera in the map. Can we control the PT and Z on the map via the radiations of the view?
Actually, not. We cannot do that. It's on the roadmap. We have several customers that asked for that. So yeah, in the future it will be a feature inside the Navicops too.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay. Okay, sure. So let's continue. I will, on your way, I'll organize the questions and then ask you after the next sessions. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. No problem. Okay, so now we can go to users, I think, as we have a user system with 3 roles: viewer for access the map, sensors, and triggers; editor, who can modify sensor, triggers, and map too; and an admin who can modify everything inside Navicops configuration. I think this user system is pretty great to have like. You need a role control when you have a system, because you don't want your operator to maybe edit a map, do something accidentally, they can delete something. It's not great to recreate a map with 5,000 markers on it. So yeah, it's pretty great. In the system tabs, we can configure a system. So Nx server, Nx system too, actually, which this refers to the main server of Nx. So whether you have created a system or just your standalone server, you can use either cloud access or access the server locally and add it. And we are moving to the servers tab. When you have added your system, every server will automatically be retrieved by Navicops when connecting to the system. So it's automatic. There is no action that is required. And this feature helps during the creation of maps, triggers, sensor by indicating the server where the camera is located. We know when you have a big city, you have maybe 10 or 20 server, Nx server in one system, and clearly it's better to know which part of the city, because actually server has name from the part of the city to see where the camera is located. Yeah, and actually it also allow you to add a map to a specific server, because you can add a map to the whole Nx system by clicking on the eye, as you can see on the demo. But you can add it to a specific server, because sometimes we know that in the same example of a city, they don't share all servers to operators. They share only one server, so they need to have just one map on the server, not every map. So it's better this way. Back to the devices tab. So you will find device automatically retrieved by Navicops as well. There is no manual intervention that is needed. It's all automatic. You can choose on which device to activate a license in case you have maybe more devices than Navicops licenses, and that you don't need to have mapping for all your devices. We know sometimes you maybe have some cameras of backup or something like that, so it's not needed. And for information, a device without a license won't appear on the map, but still it will be retrieved, updated, everything. Yep.
That's good. That's similar to the way we take care of recording license. Yeah, that's good.
Actually, it's exactly the same. We want to be like we copied how Nx is working, and we want the client to feel the same. We don't need to have something complicated. We need to work the same way that Nx work. It's better and simplifier for everyone. Now let's dive into sensors. So sensors is one feature of Navicops that allow you to show something on the map. You can create a sensor of two types actually. There is a ping sensor, which only ping an IP address and a port to check if the sensor is online or offline, like just for monitoring purposes. Alternatively, you can create IO sensors, which are configurable via Swagger documented REST API. So there is a documentation that you will see later. And it's making them integrable into other tools. So for example, if you have maybe like a gate that will open and close, which can generate an event, you can generate an event. It will update the sensor status when the gate is open or closed. So it's pretty great to see the status of a gate on the map or for anything else. We know actually that some customers use the gate system with sensor IO sensor. And also you can manually change the sensor status directly from this page. And we are also working on another sensor type that retrieve and display a number from an API of another tool. For example, we don't know you have the temperature of a room that is shared by a sensor, but there is only an API access to this sensor. In the future, you will be able to create a new sensor, write the API to this external sensor, and it will retrieve automatically the temperature of the sensor, and you will be able to show it on the map. Can be useful in some case, like maybe when it was COVID-19, but well, I don't hope it will be used in this case again, but maybe we can see that for a CO2 sensor, or maybe just a room temperature too, if you need to start a climatization or some AC, something like that. Yeah, and it can be on D2, for example, in a parking scenario, if you want to see how many free car can go into the parking. Yep, I think that's it for the sensor. Let's talk about triggers now. So triggers are little buttons on the map, so it's a marker too, but that is clickable. They are fully customizable. You can select an icon, a color, a name, and you can do an API call using a trigger. So it's an HTTP call. You can do whatever type you want, get, post, put, delete, patch, whatever. You can do it in an authenticated manner with basic auth or even a token, and you can also do it without any authentication. The body is also configurable for request type that required, for example, post. And triggers can be activated on the map or from this page too. Maybe you need you don't need to go to a specific map and click on the marker, load the map, etc. You just go to trigger, select your search your trigger, and execute it, and it will do the action automatically. And also, they are configurable using the Navicops API that I talked earlier, so you can edit it on the fly, maybe if you have another system that is calling the Navicops API. And you
John,
have also
a quick question is about the sensor. Sorry to interrupt. So when we're adding the sensors or the triggers, is the Navicops server talking to the sensors or the triggers directly, or are you using Nx as a middleware to talk to these external devices?
No, actually, for the sensor and trigger, Navicops is talking directly to the sensor or trigger without going to Nx.
Got it. Clear. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And as Jordan showed too, there is a web page trigger, so that allows you to open a web page inside Nx. So, for example, as I said previously, you can open a control panel directly inside Nx. If you have a trigger web page on your map, you set an URL and you set a specific web page that is retrieved from Nx automatically too. And it will open the web page inside Nx next to the map, for example. Quite handy if you need to interact with PLC, for example. And finally, the group system. So it allows you to group cameras, triggers, and sensors to easily interact with multiple items at once. We know, for example, if you have a big shopping mall, you have maybe 200 gates. You don't want to click on each gate manually. So you set
emergency.
You set every gate into a group, and you can, for example, close all the gate, open all the gates when it's opening. And there is also a bypass mode. For example, if it's in maintenance, you don't want to be alerted every time the status change. You set bypass, and it's in bypass mode. So yeah, it's also you can interact with groups using the Navicops API too. So yeah, it's quite great. We quickly go through the log page, which contains an history of action performed by users on Navicops. It's useful, especially for audit purposes. Maybe something wrong happened on your system. You need to see if someone compromised something. You can see that. And also, it's great, for example, if you know, I don't know, in the night there was one door open, why this door was open, who opened it. Great to see that. And finally, the settings page. So it holds general configuration parameters, the license, and also the configuration of API keys for accessing the Navicops API. You can create multiple API keys to use different keys in different systems. So it's limiting the need to configure all systems in case one API key is compromised. It's good to do that. It's security. It's for security purposes. You need to have different API key. Don't share password API key extra on different system. It's good to know that. And also, by clicking on documentation, you can also access a Swagger that represents the API documentation, and it evolves with each new version of Navicops. We include various new features every time. So it's quite great. You just give this link to your developer maybe, or yourself if you know it's working too, and it's not complicated, and you can interact with whatever you want. And if you need something more, just ask us. We'll integrate it too, because we know it will maybe be useful for another customer too.
That's great.
And
wow.
I think that's it for Navicops, actually. There is plenty of new features that will come into 2024. For example, we will have the geocoding that allows you to search for an address on the map directly. it's better than move with your mouse pointer. There will be also maybe the ability to have your building in 3D directly inside Navicops. We know that has been asked by some customer to have like a 3D view of their building. So they have the 3D file that someone made, like maybe an architect, something like that. They import it inside Navicops, and they can place camera inside the building with altitude every time and move on inside. Actually, it's quite still in development though. And you can see more features on roadmap.navicops.io, and you will be able to share if you need to add. You need one feature, you just type it, write it, and we'll answer. Other users can add what it's useful for them too. And yeah, actually that's it, I think.
There are several questions actually, John. I will start the questions. Maybe you can help with some of those. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So like one question is about can we key in the GPS locations of the servers or camera instead of dragging them to the map? Is there a place we just put in the latitude, longitude?
Actually, that's already on the roadmap for 2024 too. It will come in Q1 2024. So I think end of February, starting March, it will be available.
Okay, that's fast. Okay. And then there's another one is when we are calling out the cameras from the map on the Nx desktop client. So like I said, we are using the JavaScript API, right? So you can actually click the icon on the map. It's a web application embedded in the Nx desktop client. You don't need to drag the camera from the right-hand resource panel. With the integration between Nx and Navicops, you can just click the icon, the camera view on the map, and then call the target cameras to the feed clients. Right, so that's the JavaScript API. It's really helpful.
Yep.
Right? And another question is: has the map to be online, connected to the internet? Can I use it in a totally offline environment?
Yeah, actually, that's a very good question. So actually, you can use Navicops in an offline environment only if you are using an image or a PDF map. So, for example, a floor building, or maybe you have an image of your city. You will be able to zoom in and see the markers, everything, and it will be totally offline. But there is no possibility actually to have like this a 2D view of the map offline, but it's already on the roadmap too, because we need a lot of government, for example, they can't have an access to internet on their servers, so they need to have the mapping offline. It's quite difficult because, as you may know, a map is pretty big. You need a lot of storage on your servers, a lot of resources too. So that's why it's in development. We need something easy for the user to set up on their server, but it's in development. And actually, maybe in your case, you don't need really an offline mapping, because Navicops works on a server that will be like not connected to internet. If they have access to Nx, if the Navicops have access to Nx, that's it. They don't need to go to internet, Google, or whatever. Even the license system is working offline. If your operator that is using Nx or Navicops have internet on their computer, it's sufficient to open a map and see the tiles and the 2D, 3D view on the map. That's why sometimes you don't really need to have a full offline mapping. But in the case you don't have internet on the operator computer too, you will need to wait. We hope to have this available at the end of 2024.
Okay, got it. And it's also related to the layers of the maps. So is there any limitations to put the indoor map link to our GIS map?
No, no limitation.
No.
You can put a lot of map. You can go inside 100 maps. No issue with that. 100, 1000, what you want.
Sounds good. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
we make it work. We know it's important, and also that's why there is a clustering feature. Back in last year, there was no clustering. With more than 1000 cameras on the map, it was not working really great. It was a bit slow on a slower computer. Now with clustering, you can have 5,000 cameras on the map. Using the clustering, there is only maybe, I don't know, 10, even 100 markers on the map with the clustering number of camera when you zoom in. So it allows you to have, I said 5,000 because I don't have any more use case of more than 5,000. Maybe with 10,000, it will work too perfectly.
Yeah, so I think that there's some questions about how many cameras can we put on a single map? So I think like we can put a lot of camera icons on the map, but when we are viewing the videos, like we need to click each individual icons and view one streams at a time, right? Like right now, what we're showing on the monitors, right? Even though we have hundreds of thousands of icons on the map, but if we want to see the live view, we have to click on that and then the live view will pop up. So it's one at a time. Got it. Okay. Yeah.
Actually, one at a time, but if you are inside Nx and you zoom, you click on the thumbnail when you open a camera, it will open one camera inside Nx. You click another camera on Navicops, it will open another camera in Nx, and you will have two live view inside Nx. That's the power of Nx. So I think everything is possible, but yeah, actually on the map itself, you can only open one camera at a time.
Yeah, that makes good sense. It's like our desktop client is designed to multi-stream concurrent view, right? With zoom in, zoom out, and your application is more for the geometric locations of the data, right? Yeah.
That's
cool.
it.
And how about like indoor maps layers? I believe we can do that, right? I have a building. I have maybe 20 floors in the building. I can create different map layer on an offline like 2D maps, right?
Yeah, no problem with that. You can do it. No limit of stories or whatever. Actually, we have also one feature that is in development because actually, if you need, I don't know, you need to enter in a building, you want to go to the floor 50. Well, you can open directly the map inside Nx floor 50, and that's it. But if you're on the map, you need to go to story 1, story 2, story 3, etc. Actually, we are working on a feature that will allow you, when you are on for the street map, for example, there is one icon that go inside the building. You will be able to have a little drop down that will go to directly story 50 if you need, or 49 if you need quickly. Still in development because we need to do it, but it was something that was asked by someone.
Yeah. Got it. And I think you got these questions quite often. Actually, I want to ask this too. So if we have NX servers installed on a vehicle, meaning the location will be moving, right? Is there a way we can update the locations of a server or cameras?
Yeah,
is that
actually,
in the roadmap or it's already available?
It's already available. Actually, yeah. We didn't show it on the demo because it's like a beta feature, but it's available. There is an API. Inside Navicops that allow you to change the marker location on the fly. If you change the marker location, like you make an API call, you change the marker location. If an operator have the map open, it will see the marker move up directly on the map. So yeah, it was asked for NX embedded for sure. So
cool.
Yeah,
wow.
Still a beta feature though, so maybe there will be some issue with it. Actually, we don't have bad feedback on this feature. It's working, so yeah. But we are going to improve it a lot. We need to try it more in real case to see if we encounter some issue. But actually, for example, if you have a city, you can see a policeman or police vehicle moving. So yeah, quite great.
That's great. That's great. And I think this is also important. So how's the software licensed? By server, by devices, by sensors? Yeah, can you share with our audience?
Yeah, it's quite simple actually. So as Nx, it's a perpetual license. So the license key includes a specified number of cameras and sensors. License are floating, as I said previously. So you can put one license to a camera, move it to another camera. No issue with that. Same for sensors. And it's a lifetime license, so you only pay once. However, there is an annual maintenance fee, which is 10% of the license price at the time of purchase. This fee is needed to cover the cost of the Maps API because, as maybe you know or you don't know, having a map on a software is quite costly, and you need to pay a license every year. So yeah, actually, it's per camera and per sensor. There is no fee per server. No issue.
Got it. Okay. So I think later on you can share your contact information and Jordan's information on the last sessions, right? So
Yep.
Everyone, if you are interested in the license pricing, please feel free to reach out to Jordan and John about it. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, actually,
And wow, there's a long questions from our Andy. So let me see. If there's a camera that is offline, so besides showing on the dashboard, will it also show as an offline on the map, right?
yeah.
So for example, okay, so it would change the state of the camera icon on the map.
Actually, as maybe you saw on the map or not, I don't know, but every marker are green. When the camera is down, marker are red. So you can easily see that one camera is down on the map directly.
Well, it like has some kind of highlight to notify the operator this camera in the west is offline, or it will silently become offline, and we have to notice that on our own.
Yeah, actually, yeah, there is no notification of a camera went offline. Inside Navicops, the notification is a VMS comes offline, for example. So if an Nx server is down, you will have a notification. And even if you have one server, well, if the server is down, you will have one notification. But even if there is one server down, you will have a notification too. For cameras, we don't have this, well, we don't have this system yet. I think there is one feature that is in development that when a camera changes state, it's blinking for maybe 10 or 20 seconds. So you will be able to see that the camera is blinking. If you are not on the map or maybe on the view of your camera, you will not be able to see it. Well, we know that as I think most of the users will use Navicops inside Nx, so we'll be able to see that the camera comes down because there is an event when the camera is down on Nx.
We use the Nx events, yeah.
Yeah, but still we will have like an Nx, well, not an Nx, a Navicops events menu on the map in the near future too, because I don't know, we will be able to watch for some type of events. User will be able to select which type of event you want to see on this menu, and an operator that maybe we don't know, we will not use Navicops inside Nx. It will be weird, but why not? We'll be able to see the events and maybe more specific events to Navicops too inside the map. So in the future, it will be available. You will see it.
Yeah, sounds good. And there's another question. It's also related to updating the GPS locations. So let's say we have a body-worn cameras, right? It's so is there a standard APIs for Navicops to talk to the body-worn camera to receive their GPS locations? How does this part of data being handled, right? like whether it be a common protocol for all kind of body-worn camera to send you the GPS locations, or is there a way?
Yeah,
Explain
so
this.
actually, as the same as said previously, it's so on the Navicops documentation API, you can see like one API call that allow you to update the marker location. So the body cam camera need actually to make an HTTP call to update in Navicops their location. Actually, it's because we don't have like in our office one body camera to allow us to make some tests. We are not aware of a specific API, but maybe if there is something to retrieve the location of the body cam, we can make it the other way. Navicops will detect that it's not like a standard camera, it's a body cam or a vehicle camera, or maybe user will be able to set it, and it will try to request the API and the location of the body cam camera. Actually, it's not well, it's not on the roadmap. It can be added if we have the information and documentation about that. But as I said previously, if one customer have a specific need, like we are listening our customer, if they need one feature to make it work, well, it will be available. Actually, we know, for example, we give an example. We had a call 2 weeks ago about the user need was quite simple. It was in a city. They need like a panic button. So it's maybe some people know in United States in a campus university there is some like panic button. You go, you click on it, and police is coming. Everyone is coming. There is a live camera, etc. They need the same thing, but they don't have a panic button, physical panic button. They need an app. Sorry, the user will click on panic button on the app. It will send the location, open a camera next to this event, and that's why in Navicops there will be an event menu too. And operator will be able to see what's happening, send policemen if needed, and we will be developing this mobile app and make it available. So for this customer and every customer that need this feature too, it will be available for them, because we know it's important in today's society to feel safe. Everyone have a mobile phone. They can have an application if they feel endangered. They can use this. So yeah.
Got it. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So so when we install the Navicops software, like if we don't have internet, can we like one time download the full GIS map at the current states and then install the whole map like to the server together with the software?
Actually, it's not possible. We use Mapbox for people that know that. It's the best, I think. Yeah, it's the best, I think, actually, to have an updated map, good features. So you can't download the map on your system like that. But that's why on our own map in 2024, we'll have this possibility. For example, the world map is, I think it's 200 gigabytes or 300 gigabytes. So yeah, if you have the storage, it's okay, no problem. But you need the resources, so it's CPU, RAM, to have a software that will be able to serve this map, and that is really resource consuming. So that's why we are developing something to have not the world map, because we do. Maybe we don't know. You need to have the roadmap, but if you have only a small part of a city, or just a city, or just like a district, a district or a county, for example, you will be able to just download this county, have it, and use it offline. So yeah, that will be pretty great. But it's in development, end of 2024 for sure.
Got it. Got it. And an interesting question: can I search for camera by the street name?
Actually, so right now, no. But as I said, we have geocoding, the feature that is coming in end of February, starting March. So in end of February, starting March, you will be able to do it. Yep.
Got it. But in the roadmap. Okay. All right. And yeah, I think, wow, that's a lot of questions. Thanks a lot, everyone. Yeah. So
Yeah.
John, can you put your contact informations on the share screen again? So there are some questions requesting for pricing information, requesting for proposals, right? So well, yeah. So later on, please please send an email to contact@navicops.io, right? So Jean and Jordan will be happy to send you those informations like individually, right? So at the same time, if you have any questions about NX, I know today it's very special. We have the time, it's a PM time in Asia, but early morning in Europe, and we have partners from different regions. So we have a different sales team from NX, right? So at the very beginning, you can just write to, if you don't have a NX contact, you can just write to sales@networkoptics.com. Okay, we'll be happy to hear from you for that. And again, so I think in about 2 weeks time, we will have this webinar posted on the NX official YouTube channel. Feel free to share that with your partners or customers who haven't got a chance to join. And you see Navicops information right there already. It's really great. We have a lot of nice discussions, but later on you might thought about something. So always feel free to contact John and Jordan. So we've been working with them for 2 years. Like they've been really reactive on the requirements from the NX partners. We see the product progress like really fast. Every 2 weeks, every month, there's a new features based on the requirements. So feel free to share with them, right? We see a lot of questions about body-worn camera, dash camera. So we at NX, we are also actively working with manufacturers for these mobile devices to put NX server in it. So that's actually one of the next big things we can build up together with our partners, with Navicops, to have the GIS map with a mobile application like that. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's all. Yeah, we are very on time. That's great. A lot of questions, a lot of sharing. Thanks a lot for your time, John and Jordan.
Thank you for receiving us, and thank you everyone for your interest into Navicops. That's great.
Yeah, it's our great pleasure. It's our great pleasures. Again, thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you for joining, right? So that's our contact on the screen. Feel free to contact us if you have any questions, okay? Thank you. Have a nice day.